transfer portal, the dominoes are starting to fall. That's the entire theme as we get closer to 2025. So Fernando Mendoza, that was the quarterback at Cal. Since the last time you and I spoke, he committed to Indiana. This is a big pickup for Curt Cignetti. Hats off to those guys. This is a big move for them. He was a 16-touchdown, 6-interception guy, 6'5", 225. They went and got Rourke out of the portal. They go get Fernando Mendoza for this next year out of the portal. Threw for over 3,000 yards in just 11 games this past year. He's the number 3 quarterback in the portal. So Indiana got their guy. Missouri got their guy as well. So 2 big moves here. These are not blue blood programs. Indiana just made noise for the first time in most of our lifetimes. Missouri, they were thought to be a player this past year, but they got blown out on the road a couple of times and disappeared from sight in the playoff picture. Bo Prula, who was Drew Allar's backup at Penn State, and who did come in and win them the Wisconsin game this year, he has landed at Missouri. That was the number 12 quarterback in the portal. He's a former 4-star. He's a true dual-threat quarterback. I think he lands at a really, really good fit. I think he understood that. So Eli Drinkwitz, Curt Cignetti, they pulled the levers they needed to, and now all the quarterback dominoes so far have fallen into place. Now, I say so far, and I want to tell you what I mean in a second, but we had 12 quarterbacks out of the top 12 now that have landed. All 12 of them that were highly rated and went into the portal have landed. Aaron Nolan went from Ohio State to South Carolina, so Shane Beamer's got his backup there for Lenora Sellers. Walker White, just in the last few hours, has left Auburn, and he had already left Auburn. He landed at Baylor. So all the top 12 have landed. Now, here's the great big but. Yeah, the top 12 have landed, but remember the 5-day rule. I'm going to keep reminding you guys of this because no one really fully knows the rules right now. The 5-day rule is it is December 29th. So the portal closed at midnight, like 12 hours ago as we're doing the show. It closed at midnight, but it's not really closed. That just means you cannot enter the portal anymore if your season ended more than 5 days ago. So if you're a Miami Hurricane, you've still got 4 days to enter the portal. You can stay in there as long as you want to. You just have to be in. The deadline was December 28th, but if your game was later, your bowl game was later, or maybe you're in the playoffs, you have 5 days after your season ends to go in the portal. You get that? And then once you go in the portal, there's no deadline for when you have to come out. It's just the academic calendar is basically what you're adhering to at that point. So I say all that to say we may not be done seeing quarterbacks go into the portal. And if you're not watching, if you're listening on podcast, I'm winking. Auburn, they went and got Jackson Arnold, and now they are surrounding him with pretty good wide receiver talent. They went and got Eric Singleton. So he was the kid from Georgia Tech. He was the number 1 wide receiver in the portal, 5 games with a 40-plus yard reception this year. We wondered, could he land at Georgia? Could he land at Ole Miss? Auburn comes in and gets him. It's a big pickup because they also got Horatio Fields. He was the number 9 receiver in the portal from Wake Forest. Cam Coleman's there. Contrary to some false reports on the internet, yes, Cam Coleman's still at Auburn. They've got the number 4 class right now. They were 74th in points per game last year. They turned the ball over too much. So, the transfer rankings right now, LSU, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Auburn, Mississippi State. That's your top 5. But Ohio State's been busy too. They're not going to be in the top 10 because they don't need as much. But they went and got the number 1 tight end and number 4 offensive tackle. The tight end is, Max Clare. I didn't want that backwards. He had 51 catches and 685 yards for Purdue this past year. That's more than the number 2 and number 3 options on that team combined. And so it's just a feeder system, basically. Ohio State, in their own conference, goes and gets whoever they want because they went and got a 6'5", 315-pound tackle from Minnesota. Not the state, the university. And they got C.J. Donaldson, the running back from West Virginia as well. So Ohio State been making some moves that's been a little bit beneath the radar because they've been prepping for the Oregon game. Like I said, with the 5-day window, you can never assume the portal is closed fully until it's 5 days removed from the national championship game. And at that point, it's closed. The only college football could figure out a mechanism where a thing that closes on December 28th actually closes on January 25th. That's where we are.